Hey guys, NASCAR Gaming 48 back again, and welcome back to the post-review video. And yes, I'll be having some gameplay going on, showing of NASCAR 21 Ignition. But this is just a voice of me talking to you guys about my thoughts of the game post review. I've already did a pre-review about this game. Of whether should I buy it, and now I'm going to be saying should you guys buy it after my experience. So we're basically going to go through my overall experiences with the game and how it's been, and yeah, we'll start from there. So to kick it off, the things in the overall experience with this game is just, well, first of all, this game is not terrible. The thing is that you can see the game has potential. It's just there's so many bugs and glitches that are in the way. For example, bugs I've noticed are with the AI. Some are just checking up badly, some are running off the racetrack, some are just the contact system. You make a bit of contact with them and then you just go spinning out, which is absolutely ridiculous. And so if you should be able to side draft or at least touch the driver or the AI and not have to worry about spinning out. That's what they have in NASCAR Heat 5, which is not as good as NASCAR 21 Ignition, or so we thought. So that's something that's mostly been bad. It's just been the AI, how they've been racing. It's just been very ridiculous, always getting turned by them. That's probably the number one thing people hate about this game, is just the AI is just programmed terribly. Like, terribly. I mean, I know these guys have done motorsports games, have done R Factor 2, and the AI on the road courses, they're better than the ones on the short tracks and the super speedways and the regular oval tracks, which is kind of sad. So I hope it gets fixed, but we'll just have to see in future games, because they basically already scrapped NASCAR 21 Ignition. Another bug that I noticed, that I really did not notice this until I watched other people record their own videos, but apparently my loading screen doesn't work. It's like a blank, black loading screen, when the loading screen should have Blaney, Bubba, and Chase Elliott, like their cars on the screen for the loading screen. Mine's just plain blank and stuff, so I did not notice that till then. So yeah, but it doesn't really bother me because I didn't even know that was a bug in the first place. And another issue that's in this game is the track lighting, because I know some people said like the track lighting at Daytona and Bristol looks off, and since the new patch came out a week ago, the lighting at Charlotte looks terrible. I don't know what's going on. The lighting there doesn't look that good. I'm not sure what's up with that, so that's another thing that needs to be fixed with that, because we need good lighting in the game that's accurate to what's in real life, which is most likely what motorsports games is trying to achieve here, trying to make things close to reality, like a simulation, or relatively close to a simulation, and they've just been failing at each and every one of those sections of this game, because the lighting is not really that good. I mean, graphically, just during the day it looks good, but just at night it just hasn't really clicked. So that's kind of the issue with that. And another bug I noticed was Texas. Yeah, that's right, the Texas one, where I said the most bugged track on NASCAR 21 Ignition. Basically, this was before the patch came out. Caution, I got turned by Justin Haley. Cautions kept coming out repeatedly whenever we go into turns 1 or turns 2. And eventually, after I pitted a couple times, well, really, the reason why they started is because some of the AI, they just stopped on the dime. They just stopped, wouldn't move, and they wrecked and caused a caution. And then eventually, when I pitted like a few times, and once I did, once I did pit a few times, turns out the track was like broken, like it was open, like you could see underneath the racetrack, like the blue and stuff. It was just crashing, it was buggy, it was glitching and all that stuff. It was like that in turns 2 and going into turn 1, and eventually it was fixed, but it was a whole lot of chaos. So Texas is a track I'm definitely wanting to avoid in this game, and I bet that's what a lot of people want to avoid in real life. But yeah, Texas, I don't know. I haven't been back to Texas since that happened, because I was not even 2 weeks ago since that incident happened. So I don't know what to expect if I go back to Texas, but I would not know, because there's only one Texas race in the game now. So yeah, that's that. And then for the crew chief hasn't been that bad, but the crew chief has been very inaccurate, which is the number one problem with the game. Is just that the crew chief has just been super inaccurate. It keeps saying like pitting in 5 laps, and it says yeah 5 laps of fuel left. 5 laps later, I'm good and stuff, and then the crew chief is saying like, "Oh, you're clear, but you're not clear." And just the crew chief has just been very inaccurate. It hasn't been doing that crew chief glitch, which was like 3 2 2 3 3 3. It hasn't been rapping like he usually does. It's just been very inaccurate. So that was like probably the number one issue that's been going on so far, is just with the crew chief. But it's nothing too big and stuff because I kind of got used to him and stuff. But yeah, that's something that definitely needs to be fixed. And then the hefty penalties that we've been getting, that we've gotten in the new patch. That is the number one thing I hate, because if you're looking at gameplay on the screen, I'm basically racing and then I'm going through so many penalties and stuff if you just keep watching, because I'm going on to parts of the tracks that are actually raceable, and it's technically not cutting the corner because that's not technically a corner of the track. It's a stretch of the track. If I just like go off track and come back on during going on a stretch, it's gonna say black flagged and stuff. Like I'm not allowed to do that, which is very ridiculous. That made me super mad because I think the penalties are a bit too hefty, because NASCAR Heat 5 has done so much better with the penalty system than this game has. Because in the penalty system in NASCAR Heat 5, basically, they would stop you for about like, what, 4, 5, 6 seconds, and on a road course most likely, and then you keep going. And then for this game, if you cut a corner, you're basically back in dead last. They don't count you for that lap, so that's gonna put you laps down. So I can see what they're doing with that, but the thing is, if they here's two things with that. Number one, if you're gonna do that, then they need to chill with the penalties, because we're running on parts of the tracks. Like I'm basically racing on parts of Coda that are technically raceable, and it's not gonna be a penalty, but they count it as a penalty. And heck, I raced on some of the parts of the tracks earlier in the race of the gameplay, and then later in the race, if I run it again, it counts as a penalty, which makes absolutely no sense. So the game definitely has to fix that. And then another thing with the hefty penalty system, instead of just having us complain about the corner cuts, maybe just stop us for like 4, 5, 6 seconds and then let us continue like they did in NASCAR 5, because just putting us like in 40th, like if we cut the corner on the first lap and stuff, you have to come all the way back around on a track that's like 3 miles long. So that's really ridiculous and kind of frustrating. So that's another pet peeve I've had with this game, is just the penalty system that's just been introduced is ridiculous, like very ridiculous. Like, and this patch came out like a week ago, so that makes no sense. And stages has probably been one of the good things about this with the new patch, is that the stages have been pretty good so far. Because the only bug that you get with the stages is that it'll give the wrong amount of stage points to the driver who's not in that right spot. But then I do like how in stage 2 it adds up the points of how much you've gotten from stage 1 to stage 2, which is very nice. So I think stages is pretty good. It's pretty decent. Nothing wrong with them except for that little bug, but other than that, it's been pretty good and stuff. And now, some things that I would love to add to this game, or I think this game should have, or maybe just for future games and stuff, maybe adding like what they did in NASCAR 15. I don't know if they added the Sprint Unlimited in NASCAR 15 or NASCAR 14 and stuff, but I feel like they should add the Busch Clash. I know it seems kind of worthless and stuff to do that for a NASCAR game, but it would actually seem like pretty legit and close to normalcy, because it's accurate. It's in the schedule. You add the Busch Clash in it. You can add the Duels at Daytona like they did in NASCAR 15 and stuff. You can add the All-Star Race, which would be cool. It'd just be cool to do that, especially if you own your own team. If you own your own team, that money from those extra races like the Duels and the Busch Clash and the All-Star Race, that could definitely benefit if you have like a create your own team in a future NASCAR game like NASCAR 22 and stuff. So that's definitely some additions I would have. I would also like to see if they could put rain on some of these road courses and stuff, where you can say, oh, can I add rain, just to race in the rain. Like they have that in F1 2021, where you can choose your own weather for the road course races. You can choose your own weather. You can choose to race in the rain or not to race in the rain. So I think that's something very cool that should be added, is the type of weather and stuff. So I feel like that should be pretty good, but that's probably going to be the last thing I think they would add, because I don't know which one they would add first. I don't know if they would add rain to road courses first, or if they would add the Busch Clash duels or the All-Star race, but who knows, we'll see. And now on to the next subject. We're going to talk about the Motorsports Games Town Hall that they had a week ago. And there were two grueling questions that really made me mad. And those were the first two to start off that town hall. The first one was about the mirror and stuff like, are you guys going to be adding a mirror? The fact that they said that they're not going to add the mirror in this game, but in the next one, is very, very, very frustrating. It does not take that, I bet it does not take that much to add a simple mirror in the game. They don't even have the mirror in cockpit mode. But are you serious? They said something about for PC players, PS4 players, console players, whatever. They said something like that. I forgot how it really went. But the thing is that they're not going to be adding it to this game, but the next one. Are you serious? If they can't add a mirror, then I sure as hell know they're not going to be adding a track map. So that's really pathetic of Motorsports Games to even say that. Like, that just sickened me. But the thing that, and what Motorsports Games decided to say is that, oh, we want to make things like realistic, close to the actual real thing, real life NASCAR. And so they don't put in a fuel gauge, and then the tire pressure, you can't even tell where your tires are worn, which is very ridiculous, because the thing is, they're trying to make this like a simulator. This is a console game. They're just making this like real life, like we're NASCAR drivers. How are we supposed to know when our fuel's running out and we can't really figure it out from our own crew chief, because he keeps saying, oh, pitting in 5 laps, you got 5 laps of fuel left, even though that's totally inaccurate. So it wouldn't even matter about the fuel gauge if the fuel doesn't even work in this game. And tire pressure, I can kind of see why, because you can't feel when the tires are worn, but for every previous NASCAR game, you can tell when the tires are going off or falling off, whether it shows the percentage of the tires from 100% to like 0, or it shows like if the tires are, green to like yellow to red and stuff. So you need that in regular games. If other games have it, then you should have in this game. It doesn't make sense if you guys are the odd ones out. It just makes it weirder. So I don't know why Motorsports Games does that. It's very ridiculous how they say, oh, we want to make this close to the real life thing. This is not iRacing, and I'm pretty sure in iRacing they have something at least close to fuel gauge and tire pressure. That makes no sense, okay? So yes, tire pressure definitely needs to be added, but knowing this, the game's already complete, they'll have to do that in the future. So maybe they'll learn from their dumb mistake from this time and go ahead and put it in the next one. And then fuel gauge, how are you supposed to tell if your fuel's going out? Seriously, you actually need a fuel gauge to see if you're low on fuel. And besides, having like a gauge and a tire indicator, that can help us gamble. That can make us gamble within these situations of the race of this game. It can help us gamble. That's a positive. So it adds creativity and it makes it more fun. So we can see if we're gambling with with the decisions we're trying to do and stuff. So that's just the fun of it. That's something you could do in the old NASCAR games, but clearly you can't do it in this one, because it's just ridiculous how they didn't put a fuel gauge and tire pressure, and they're just gonna make an excuse of saying like, oh well, we're trying to get it close to the real thing. Well, what you've done isn't even close, and it's not even that good. So that's really ridiculous and very sad. That really made me mad. But all the other questions were okay, but these two were just definitely hard hitters for me. Like the fuel gauge and tire pressure. Are you kidding me? We are not real life NASCAR drivers. How in the heck are we supposed to know that? Seriously. We need a tire indicator to know when our tires are falling off when it comes to showing green, yellow, or red, or percentages of the tires, and we need to know when our fuel is going out and a number of laps, or at least show like a gauge and stuff to see the fuel running low. Okay, we need that. But this Motorsports Games has just been a huge disappointment. It's just frustrating and stuff. But anyway, uh, that kind of concludes of all my overall experiences with this game. I mean, when I say this game is better than NASCAR Heat 5, no. But like out of all the NASCAR games I've had, I'd say NASCAR Heat 4 was the best and stuff. I'd say it's better than NASCAR Heat 3 because of the graphics and it's kind of better. Race is better. NASCAR Heat 5 is worse than NASCAR Heat 4 because I know NASCAR Heat 5 is just an updated roster, it's just a copy and paste, but somehow the game is worse, which makes no sense. But NASCAR 21 Ignition, I'd rate this game probably like a 3, 4 out of 10. It's just not that good. So it's just a disappointment how we had so much hype build up for this game and we get this. So that's not really a good look for motorsports games on their part and stuff, because yeah, I would definitely rate this like a 4.1 out of 10. This game is just abysmal in my opinion. So here's the big hard-hitting question: should you buy this game? For you hardcore NASCAR fans, or actually if you're just a fan who doesn't like to play, who or actually wants to see of how other people think of this of newer games and decide, okay, I'll buy this game and stuff. Or if you're just like, oh, you see a game that sucks, I'm not gonna buy it, I'm just gonna play the old school retro NASCAR games, then if you're one of those type of NASCAR fans, I would not buy this game because it is very frustrating. It's very aggravating indeed, and it just shows and kind of puts a bad image on NASCAR, but mostly on the Motorsports Games company, showing that really no one can make a really good NASCAR game except for those who made the good NASCAR games back in the day. And then now if you're a fan like me who just wants to buy the new game because it's a new game and most people will be playing that and stuff, then playing some of the old sucky games that you have like the NASCAR Heat series and stuff, then buy it if you want to. But for those who don't even know, I'd probably say, for a safe answer, probably not to purchase this game because of how frustrating it can be. Just mostly with the AI, it's just unbearably bad. I mean, with the coding in it, just like the contact system is completely bad, and then it's just the AI can turn you, wreck you just like that. Super Speedway racing used to be the most fun thing to do on each NASCAR game. Like NASCAR 5, you have to admit, even for a terrible game, plate racing was pretty good. But on this game, I can barely even do it. So I'm kind of nervous going into Friday when I record my first career mode episode. I'm kind of nervous doing the Daytona 500 because I don't know what the heck's going to happen, and I know it's going to turn into a complete crapshoot. There's another word I want to say, but it's YouTube. I can't say it. And then for blank loading screen, that's not really a big issue. It's just a tiny little bug, so it doesn't matter. Track lighting's not really that big and stuff. The issues that Texas I saw, that happened on my game, so you could see it at other games or other tracks that you race at. So just be careful with that. If you do want to purchase this game, be careful. You will see something like that. You might not. Every game is kind of different. The crew chief can be kind of annoying, but the thing that's good about that is that you can turn off the crew chief because it's not like he's benefiting. It's like he's telling you like, oh, go high, you're clear high, but it's not true, and keeps telling you to pit even though you don't really need to pit in this game. So that's my take on that. And then for the hefty penalties, the penalties is probably going to be another frustrating thing on road courses. If you just go off a little bit on the track and it counts as corner cutting, it won't make any sense. So that's another frustrating part that some people who want to buy this game may not like about it. So I can kind of see that, and it's going to be a bit of a disappointment. And the fact that they'll just take away your lap completely rather than let you stop for a few seconds is very hefty and very costly. So that's probably why when I do my career mode, I'm going to turn off cautions and stuff, because cautions don't really come out on the road courses anyway. So that's probably something I'm going to do in my career mode because I don't want to get pissed off and just scare my viewers, even if you guys do get scared of me, whatever. But that's something. Stages is okay, but yeah, that's basically it for that. So if you want to buy this game, you can go ahead and buy it. Do whatever you want, okay? It's your choice on buying and making the purchases you want. I still regret sometimes buying NASCAR Heat 5, which was a $50 mistake in my opinion, but hey, it was during the COVID outbreak and I was kind of tired of playing NASCAR Heat 4, wanted to play with the updated roster, so that was the only thing I could do and stuff. It's not like I play on a PC where I can have my own mods and stuff, so that's something. And yeah, that's basically it. And then for those who just depend on seeing like if it's a good game, like if you play NASCAR games just because it's good, then don't buy this game because it's not really that good. This is probably the worst NASCAR game, because I remember I made a tier list on my main channel, NASCAR Mobile 48, about NASCAR games. I said NASCAR Heat Evolution was the worst NASCAR game. This broke that barrier, because at least for NASCAR Heat Evolution, that game was playable. This game can be playable at times, so you just have to wait and see for that. This game could be playable and stuff at times, but it just depends on the bugs and glitches that you'll get. So that's really my full take on it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. What are some bugs that you've noticed that I haven't pointed out, or what are some hot takes on this game that you think are good, most ones that I know that are bad and stuff, and just what are your overall thoughts on this game, and do you think that the new NASCAR 22 game would be an upgrade or a downgrade from this one? Because we'll just have to wait and see. Because for NASCAR 22, I'm just gonna make a full prediction right now. I am probably not gonna buy that game until I just fully see it. Okay, because I'm gonna probably do the same thing that I did in NASCAR 21 Ignition, seeing all the bugs and stuff. And so, because I got this game for Christmas, and NASCAR 21 Ignition came out before Halloween, so I'm probably going to wait that longer, maybe even longer, to see if I can trust myself to buy NASCAR 2022, because I'm not going to just buy it right off the gate, because, well, I might, it just depends, but we'll have to wait and see. So, well, that's going to really do it for this review. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about this game. That's really all I have to say about my overall experiences, but still, the fuel gauge tire pressure thing is so freaking dumb. But really, everything else in that town hall, I guess, were decent questions, but some add-ons that you could have, I don't know if I mentioned this or not in the video yet, but some add-ons that you could have in this game are like, maybe you could add the Busch Clash or duels at Daytona and the All-Star Race like they did in like NASCAR 15. You could add something like that, like bring some pizzazz in it. I think adding something like that for this game or for future games would definitely bring on the real life experience, because that's what they actually do. Because we've seen them mainly in the Heat series, you don't get the Busch Clash or the All-Star Race or the duels at Daytona. So I can actually kind of see that. So if they add something like that in the future, that'd be cool. And also maybe add some rain for road courses. You could choose to have rain to make it difficult, to make it a challenge, to make it fun. That'd be actually a cool experience, but we'll have to see, because I don't think Motorsports Games is even close to that, because they're saying, oh, this game was 2 years in the making from the ground up. Complete fail. Big F. Actually, I'll probably give them a D, but I don't know, because at least this game is somewhat playable. But hey, the customization is pretty good. The only thing I don't really like about the customization is that there's no alphabet, so you can't actually put words in there or letters. You have to make your own with the shapes that they give you, so that's kind of annoying. But it's not really that bad. It's not really that bad. But in the online experience, I haven't really experienced it that much, so I can't really get my full take on that. So that's really all I have to say about this one. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. If you want to check out my main channel, NASCAR Mobile 48, link will be in the description. I just uploaded my 2022 season predictions there on Monday, and I have a lot of views for it, so I would go check that out. Link will be in the description. Go subscribe so you don't miss any good content, because the Busch Clash is this weekend, and I'm going to be uploading a review of that race on Sunday night, so stay tuned and watch out for that. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. If you want to check out my Instagram, link will also be in the description. And finally, subscribe to this channel. Really appreciate those that have subscribed. It's been a good journey and stuff. I said I make a pre-review, look at the game, see all the stuff that I've experienced, and make a post-review before I start my career mode. So we'll see how career mode goes, guys. I don't know if it's going to be a big hit or a big fail and stuff. We'll just have to wait and see. So stay tuned on Friday for that video. But that's going to do it for today. This was my post-review about the game. So overall, should you guys buy this game? If you just want my overall take, I'd either say no or either say it's your choice. Your choice, folks. Your choice. Alright, that's gonna do it. See you guys Friday. Have a great rest of your night. This is NASCAR Gaming 48. Peace out.